Section YY8 podcast coming back to you from the virtual YY8 studios. Big Montana and Harb in the house. Day Vols having internet issues tonight. The storms are rolling through and they've hit the Lakeway area. I assume, Harbin, you're more connected to the Lakeway area than Big Montana and I are, but we've had some storms roll through the area and it's knocked Day Vols Obama internet out. Last week it was his voice. This week it's the internet. Is he Gavin 2.0?
Could be. I don't think it's quite as extreme as Gavin, because I do know the Lakeway area got hit pretty hard. Here over in the Kodak side of Straw Plains area, we're pretty safe for the most part. But
how was the mascot area tonight?
It rained hard, but no hail, nothing sideways or anything. Got a little bit windy, but it was a good soaking rain. Got the pollen off the cars and off the driveways. So yeah, I went outside earlier to get something out of my truck, and I just had a puddle of yellow over here in the corner.
Yeah, I washed my truck Thursday night before I went to Auburn on Friday, and parked under a tree at Auburn. And when I got in my truck this morning, first time I'd been in it since Friday, it was pretty yellow. And there was, right when I got home this afternoon, was right when the rain was about to hit. I should have just left the truck outside, but it was a lot of red and yellow in the radar. I didn't want to get any hail damage, so I parked her inside. So she's still going to be dirty tomorrow, but looks like plenty of chances to get it off this week. So this week's show, baseball lost 2 out of 3 at Georgia. We'll get into that. Softball, I know they lost today, but they won Saturday. I don't know what they did on Friday. I'm assuming they won the series against South Carolina, but I need to look into that while we're talking baseball. But they clinched the number 1 seed, the regular season championship. So another title coming back, SEC title coming back to Knoxville. We've won a few of those over the last year in different sports, so that trend continues. And Harbin will talk about his golf round. We had a qualifying event for the Straw Plains Invitational this weekend at Graysburg Hills National. I did not participate since I had a previously scheduled event, so we'll get an update on that and see who finished where, how things rolled out. I'm sure it was interesting with that group of guys up there playing, so we'll get into that. And also the haters and losers of the week nominee, and we'll let you know who won last week's poll, which was posted. There's only 2 options. Harbin and I tag teamed up on Big Montana this week, and I haven't looked at the results yet, so I'll look at it while we're recording. But where we want to start, guys? I just got back from Auburn, so I'm kind of all over the place. So what do we want to do first? Baseball, Auburn? Baseball. Let's do that. Vols lost 2 out of 3. I'm going to be honest, I didn't get to watch any of them. I just saw the scores. We won 12-3 Friday, lost 1-3 or 3-1 Saturday, and 9-4 this afternoon. I think I looked when I was driving back at one point, we were tied at 4, and then the next time I looked, we were down 8-4. So I think Big Montana, you watched some of the games this weekend. What was your takeaway?
Friday night we looked really good. It was nice to get a win on the road, and then yesterday I was a little bit out of it. Yesterday I did some weed eating, a little bit of mowing, a little bit of yard work, and I come in and watched the last 5 innings yesterday. They just really couldn't get the bats going. Yesterday, Georgia's starting pitcher come in the first 2 pitches of the game. He threw 2 pitches and hurt himself. So they brought in a different cat for him, gave the dude like 10 minutes to warm up, and he was really, really good. I don't remember his name right offhand, but he wasn't prepared to pitch. He come in and did very, very well. Tennessee really couldn't catch up to him. And then the old boy that closed the game, he was throwing 96, 98. So Georgia's not a bad team. And then today, Ayers got the best of Tennessee today. Like you said, it was 4-4. I think probably in the 4th, 5th inning. And then, Georgia twice. A Georgia player got walked or got on base, and Christian Moore committed 2 errors, 2 pretty much routine grounders to second base. He couldn't field them and throw them to first base for the easy out, and the immediate batter after both of those errors hit a home run. So Georgia went up 8-4 very, very quick in that
It
game.
only has Tennessee with 1 error today.
They must have ruled the other one.
I'm trying to look at the play-by-play.
But
Go ahead.
What killed Tennessee is, in my eyes, they were both errors. They may have ruled the second one. I think they even talked about it. It may have been a.
Oh, I see where it is. It says this cat named Wagner singled to second base. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, they gave it. They made
I don't
it
know what this means. 1-2 FFB. I gotta look that up. I've never seen that.
Right.
I've never seen that terminology before.
But both plays should have been easy outs to first base at the college level, and literally the next batter after both errors hit a home run, and that really hurts Tennessee. Giving up home runs isn't a big deal, but giving up 2-run home runs are what paralyzes you, the baseball team. The team didn't hit as well this week. Burke didn't do as much as what he used to. Ahuna, whatever his damn name is, really wasn't showing up like he usually does. Dickey, same way. But nobody hurt. Go on. We play some Cupcake Tuesday night, and then we play Kentucky next weekend with a chance to beat those guys. So it should be good.
So I was looking when I got home. Florida lost their series at A&M. LSU lost at Auburn this weekend. They lost 2 out of 3, and then Tennessee lost 2 out of 3 at Georgia. All 3 of those teams, Auburn, A&M, and Georgia, are bubble teams in the NCAA tournament right now. So it just shows you this conference, man. It's just so. We were talking about this Saturday down there in Auburn. It's just so tough right now. Georgia hasn't been good for the last several years, and they're better this year. They were still on, I think, like 8-12 coming into this weekend or something like that. So, but they're not. I think Vitello said something about he would be thrilled if Tennessee just finished 500 in SEC play.
Right.
And we're there. We're 12-12 right now. So
yeah,
a minor setback. I think we got Austin P.
Got Austin P. And you got Kentucky coming in this weekend.
Who took 2 out of 3 from Carolina, I think.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun series. I got tickets for Sunday's game. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, Kentucky's pretty good too. So it's we got Kentucky at home next weekend, and then for this season finale in the conference, they go to South Carolina, who's top 5 right now. I don't know where they'll be after this weekend, but there's no off weekends in this conference, Harbin.
Absolutely not. And that bodes for this weekend as well. The thing that I saw had it broken down into East and West. I'm not 100% sure if baseball still does that or not, or if it even matters. But
it really doesn't. They do have divisions, but when they have the conference tournament, they just seed it 1 through 12.
Fair. I know we are, after this weekend, we're directly behind Kentucky. I can't believe if it was somewhere between a game or 2.5 games, somewhere in that general region. It's a big weekend, not just for seeding purposes, because I don't really think seeding matters a ton in the SEC tournament unless you get one of those 2 or 3 money seeds. You still got to beat everybody. This big weekend. And we're sitting directly at 500 right now. It'd be nice to finish SEC play above 500. You got 2 quality opponents coming up this next couple weekends. 6 games, I'd like 4 of them.
So
I'm looking at.
Yeah. Kentucky and Tennessee are right there neck and neck in the standings. So this is a big series for both teams coming up. And then you've got obviously South Carolina, who's above both of those teams. But I think this weekend showed that anybody's capable of beating anybody in this conference. I think we all know that. But Tennessee could easily go down and win 2 out of 3 at South Carolina. They could also easily get swept if they don't play clean baseball like they have been playing until apparently this weekend. I was looking, they had one listed error today. They had one yesterday. I was trying to look at the play-by-play from Saturday to see if that error led to anything, but I haven't found it yet. But I don't know. They just gotta. It seemed like their timely hitting went away this weekend, where it's been pretty clutch recently, just from what I've read. And
Friday night they scored 7 runs in the last 3 innings, so that was impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say when me and my uncle looked at the score at one point, it was like 2-1, 3-1 in the 6th or 7th inning, and the next thing we know, we looked up and it's 10-2. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
but let's just get in the tournament and see what happens. You know, last year we ran away with the conference, won the conference tournament. You know, went to the NCAA tournament, won the regionals, and then lost to Notre Dame. But it's all about just getting in a tournament, I don't know where they're going to go as far as seat or draws go in the NCAA tournament because there's still a lot of baseball to be played. But I did look last week, and one projection, I think it was CBS, had us going to Morgantown, West Virginia, as a 2 seed. I mean, we obviously wouldn't be in the top 16, but I think Tennessee was trending toward getting in the top 16 until this weekend, because they've only won twice on the road this year, and one of those was this past weekend. So they've been pretty poor on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've won twice because they won one at LSU and one this weekend. So early season, I think that was a neutral site. So they're probably going to have to win out or win a lot of games to finish the season to get in the top 16 at this point. They're right on the cusp, but I don't know that I see that happening. So they're probably going to have to go on the road when they get to the big dance. So that'll be interesting to watch. Yeah, I read somebody or tweeted this afternoon that the Tennessee baseball team's taking on the vibes of the basketball team from this year. And I think Big Montana said that a couple of weeks ago. They're kind of just all over the place. They look really great, and then they do this. Again, Georgia's not a bad team, but it kind of has that vibe.
Well, with you talking about national seeding purposes, that makes it more important to go like 4-2 is your floor if you want to host a regional. You know, over the last 6 games of regular season, it'd be nice to mess around and sweep one of them too. You know, obviously you have a better chance against Kentucky, but as we've shown, we can do it against anybody. We've swept Vandy, so obviously we can sweep South Carolina. But, you know, at this point with how we started, I'll take what we can get. I am a little nervy about not playing at our home ballpark in a regional, though, because like you said, we've been, just to put it blatant, like piss poor away from Knoxville. So we'll see, though. I mean, this team's got a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. When we dropped out of the top 25 and had our backs up against the wall, it's when we played our best. So, I mean, we'll see how they respond, because we've responded once so far this year.
Now you can look at it on the bright side. They've won in the conference. They've won 7 of their last, was it 10, 9? They swept Vandy. They swept Mississippi State. So that's 6. So 7 of 9.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, still pretty good.
Yeah. I was listening to another sports podcast this week, and it was talking about Lindsey, the Friday night pitcher. And apparently in the Arkansas series, after the last game, he called a team meeting, whatever, and he basically got in the faces of 6 or 7 pretty well-to-do upperclassmen and basically called everybody out and lit a fire. So I'm curious to see if that happens again. But they said it was people responded to it because apparently Lindsey has that dog in him, according to other players on the team.
I think I heard that Griffin Merritt said something too last weekend
right.
on, I guess it was Thursday night when Tennessee was up against Mississippi State, like,
Yeah.
what was it, 6-1, 7-1, and State came back and tied it.
Yeah.
And he pretty much told him, like, let's go out here and take care of business and stop running your mouth, because he felt like they got a little cocky, a little arrogant, and it kind of cost him. And I mean, you got to have guys like that on your team. I
was gonna say every team that wins the championship is player led. That's the difference. You know, I don't care if it's high school sports, college sports, or pro sports. The player led teams are the teams that hang banners and win championships. Coaches can do all. Coach's job is in the off season, but when the season starts, I'm pretty confident saying that the player led teams are the ones that advance.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, you got to have coaches to put you in position, but
exactly.
at some point they got to get out there and do it. You know, coach can't go out there and do it for you.
No, exactly.
Got a little heartburn there, Bowling?
Got a little pleurisy.
Yeah.
Oregon Trail got me this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I've had pleurisy recently.
There's a lot of pollen on the grass right now. I've been mowing a lot, so I broke down and put a mask on. It really took the conservative out of me, to be honest with you. Didn't put a mask on. I had one of those net gaiters, and every time a car went by, I took it down so nobody would mistake me for some COVID puss.
But if you had it on when you were mowing, you shouldn't have got the pleurisy.
Well,
that's what the science says.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Well, we'll pray for you and your pleurisy there.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate you.
It's that time of year. It should be getting close to being done, hopefully. You know, this rain moving through, and things are about stop booming at this point. So it's been rough. It's been rough this spring. I swear I haven't been able to breathe in like a month or two. Mm-hmm. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah, I've been struggling. Yesterday it took a toll on me.
Tell us about it, Harbin. What happened?
So I had a 5:30 a.m. wake up call on Saturday. Mr. Hayes came and picked me up, and we drove up to, I guess that's Chucky, Tennessee. Is that correct?
It's either Chucky or Gray. I can't remember which one, but I think you're right.
Somewhere in there, in the middle of the death triangle between Kingsport, Greenville, and Johnson City is where we were.
There you
go. There's 12 of us from Straw Plains. We're all up and go play some golf up at Graysburg. Beautiful day. Golf was pretty good. For me, it was kind of all over the place. Had some, which I played 36, so I had 2 really good 9s and 2 pretty shitty 9s. But overall, it went well. I rode Brett Stanton for all 36. Take for that what you will.
That's Chucky, Tennessee, by the way.
Thank you. I'd never been up there before. Almost everybody that went had. It was a lot nicer of a golf course than I was expecting.
It's a very nice course. We played up there several times. It's nice.
It's solid. The only thing was their greens were pure, but there were spots in the greens where they had ditches and sand and stuff. And it's probably from where they had weeds and they were just trying to kill them and growing it back currently. It's the only gripe I got, but that was few and far between. Very solid golf course. If you have not been there and you like to swing it every once in a while, make the day trip up there and go. I did call out Travis Bell, and
really,
I did. Yeah, in the group, which you had a little bit too much fun in Auburn, so you probably didn't see it. But
I actually did see one. I laughed last night at 7:24. I've got it pulled up here. Austin Hayes sent a message to the group, says straight up not having a good time. So he must have been struggling.
Well, no, that's because he had to go work over at
Oh,
Auburn.
so that had nothing to do with golf.
No.
Okay.
I mean, he played 27 and then had to go to work. But the night before, I called out Bell,
You did. I saw that.
and score wise, I did not go well. However, I would like to get y'all's opinions. I said it didn't count because we never played in the same group all day. And, like I would like to talk some shit to Bell. Obviously, he's a little bit better than me. I know that. So I called him out. You don't call out somebody that's lower than you. But yeah, we didn't have at least 9 holes where we was playing together, and I got to see how he hit it and respond with how I'm gonna hit it. So it was a little tough,
Well, it's like Landry. He always calls out.
It's hard to motivate myself when I'm playing with Brett and Paul or whoever, and they both go like bogey double, and I'm like, well, hell, Bell may have made a birdie. I don't know.
It's like Landry calls out Grubb. He didn't call out, no offense. He didn't call out me or Underwood, me or Undy. He calls out Grubb because he wants to put a big target on the biggest fish that we got. And Bell's right in that conversation. So
I called out the best player that went to Graysburg yesterday. However, we did not get to play in the same group, and I was a little disappointed. So
that is, I mean, who put these pairings together?
Who you think?
Right, I'm sure it was Burkhart.
And guess who got in the first group?
Burkhart. Oh, he always does.
Oh yeah. Which I didn't care about the groups. I was messing with Bell in the parking lot, but we didn't get to play together. But that's fine. I got to. Me and Brett took down Landry and Matt Gorman. So shout out Matt Gorman. It was a come from behind victory. He was very loud the first 2.5 hours. And then Brett and I got very loud the last 30 minutes. It was silence.
So Gorman choked.
No, he actually didn't. Me and Brett just kind of turned it on, just to be honest with you.
I got you.
But
so y'all got bricked up.
Kinda. Yeah. I think Brett did more than I. I think he was eating it up a little bit more because he also beat his brother plus Gorman at the same time. So I think he was a little bit more bricked up than I. But we both had a good time,
So I'm not going to tell everybody because we might have some people listening. I don't want to, offend anybody, but if you really want to know what bricked up is, go look it up on Urban Dictionary. But I did mention it to some kids down there in Auburn, and they had never heard it, supposedly. So
I still don't believe that.
I don't know. Maybe they're just stupid. I don't know.
Bowling, have you heard that term before?
No, but I can do math.
Right.
Put 2 and 2 together. Just knowing who the culprits were, I can take a good guess.
Fair enough.
We always learn a new terminology or slang every year before we go or when we're on the golf trip. I felt like this one came a little early this year. So we've got some stuff to use this year on the trip, which something. It used to be we would find this hilarious video every year. Gorman or somebody would send us a video. And here recently, since Hayes and Harbin have come along, it's been the slang terms or new terminology that what is that? You all are what, Gen Z or whatever that is?
I'm from Mascot.
I don't know, whatever they are. The younger kids.
Right. Fair enough.
So he keeps us other older guys in the loop, I guess you might say. So we don't seem too out of touch with reality.
Right. Yeah, we're just looking out for you boys. We're trying to teach y'all a little bit, but somehow most of the sayings get misconstrued and turned into tools that may or may not need to be used in that fashion.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
Real quick, I big fan of the Lady Vols. They beat 1-2 out of 3. I mentioned earlier. I wasn't sure. I've looked it up. They did take 2 out of 3 from the Chickens, South Carolina, this weekend. 3-0 on Friday, 4-2 on Saturday, and then they lost 4-2 on Sunday. But they did clinch the number 1 seed in the SEC tournament, which starts this week. They are. My uncle pointed this out. The tournament's in Arkansas, and they are the 2 seed. Sorry, the 4 seed. So they're on our side of the bracket. So we'll have that to contend with. Going to Arkansas, playing on their home field. More than likely, we'll probably meet up with them in the semifinals. But when I responded to him, when he said that, I said, JWTDG. No excuses. Just win the damn game.
Thanks.
So we'll see if they can bring home, if they can do like the baseball team did last year, win the regular season and win the tournament title. And then they should be one of the top, probably 3 or 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So good weekend for the ladies on the diamond, and we'll see how they do in Fayetteville this upcoming weekend, or this next week. So tune in. If you're not watching the Lady Vols, watch them. I'm telling you, they're fun to watch. I've watched them, obviously not this weekend, but watched them several times. They're fun to watch. They got some good players. Kiki Malloy's good. A lot of balanced talent out there, and Big Montana says some of them have some dump trucks. So there you go.
They do. They're hauling.
They are sponsored by Claiborne Hauling. Correct.
Got me bricked up.
Bricked up.
There you go. Very appropriate.
Right. That's fine.
Or inappropriate, however you want to look at it.
Hey, 2 things can be true at the same time.
True.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I hated, I was following along on the golf app, some of the scores. Griff and Bell were posting their scores, but Bell's never got posted. He quit posting his scores about halfway through the first round, the first 18. So I never saw what he officially shot that first round. I know he birdied number 1. Him and Griff cut each other on the Skins game because they both birdied. I don't know if anybody else birdied number 1, but I think that is a par 5 if I remember correctly.
It is. It was interesting because it was my first time out there, and for virgin eyes that I'll call them, there's a few tee balls where I was like, okay, like it's pretty clear cut and dry. And I'd hit a tee ball where I was like, okay, that's perfect. And even Landry was like, okay, that worked just fine. And we ended up not finding it.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of my issues, especially on the front 9. On the back 9 of the first 18, I kind of figured it out, like, okay, I just need to hit where I can see it type deal. But I doubled the first hole right off rip, which is a par 5. And I'm a semi-long hitter, so that was a tough pill to swallow. But we recovered decently. I put together a semi-respectable score, and we lived to fight another day. And honestly, I just didn't want my points to go up for the trip, so that's why
you gotta look at it both ways.
It's strategic.
It was a strategic day, not just, and you had fun, I'm sure, but
right, yeah, of course.
Well, I was wondering, one of the first messages, excuse me, that I got Saturday morning at 6:34 a.m. was from Harbin. Got my morning yoga in, followed it with some JFG and a Marlboro Light, going low. So something in that routine didn't work out for you.
I think it was the yoga. Yeah, because I don't normally do it on Saturday mornings. Normally it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I doubled up on Friday, Saturday, and I don't think my body was ready for that. So I think I was too loose on the first tee. I expected to be a little tight, and it took me a few holes to get ready for it. But it's okay. You know, by the time July rolls around when we're down in Kateche, Georgia, I'm going to be ready because I believe it's my 5th or 6th year going on this trip. I'm going to be ready this year. I'm going to be ready.
That's you've been twice to Georgia, once to Crossville. Maybe it's your 4th year. I can't remember. Maybe 5th.
I think I've been to 2 and Santee.
Oh, I forgot about saying, yeah. So it is your 5th.
No, it's my 6th.
Or 6th, sorry. Yeah. You're a veteran. You're a veteran now, Harb.
Getting there. I need to start playing like it when we go on this trip.
Don't worry. I've been to every one of these, and I finished in the top 4 or top 8 before, but never really sniffed winning it. So it's a grueling event. 4 days, a lot of golf, a lot of partying. Not much, just a little.
YY is going to bring it home this year. I'm going to go ahead and call it. One of us two is going to win it all.
We'll save it and replay it.
Clip it, as the kids say. Clip it.
All right, it is time for the Haters and Losers of the Week segment. We do this every week. This will be our third one. Big Montana won the first one we didn't really put a poll out, so we just called that one a wash. Big Montana won last week with Lizzo concert goers, or the last one we had. This past week we had Harb and I put up KSR, Kentucky Sports Radio / Kentucky fans, for them drooling all over Will Levis, thinking he was going to be a top 5 pick. And Big Montana put Fox News after they let Tucker Carlson go, and their market cap and stock dropped exponentially, and they lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Viewership dropped, but the polls, the people have spoken, and the Haters and Losers of the Week are Kentucky fans / KSR, Kentucky Sports Radio. 48% to 32%. Only had 19 votes. That's pretty pathetic, but that's about like the elections we have in this country anyways. Nobody votes, so right on par. But Harb and I won the co-title of Haters and Losers of the Week this week, so we'll share in the glory of that. But it's a new episode, a new week, so we'll have a new nominees for Haters and Losers of the Week. I think we've got 3 this week, so it'll be a little bit more to choose from. So while I'm looking for a specific tweet to read for my Hater and Loser of the Week, I will let you two go first. We'll start with Harbin. Who is your nominee for Hater and Loser of the Week?
My nominee, this may be slightly premature. That's okay, because semi-used to that. Including myself, are the people that doubted the Boston Red Sox coming into this season. A lot of people expected us to be in the same bucket as the Oakland Athletics and the Colorado Rockies and Kansas City Royals, teams of that nature. Going into today, they're riding a 7-game win streak, and they are 21-15 on the season. Over the last 10, they're 8-2. Squarely in the mix in the American League East. The Tampa Bay Rays are going scorched earth mode. They're 28-7. So I'll strike that in the anomaly category. But second, third, and fourth are all within a game and a half right now in the AL East. Boston has a very elite lineup. Starting rotation is dicey. That's our only weakness, in my opinion. Bullpen right now, I read something today, is 7th in ERA in the MLB. But if you eliminate Ryan Brazier's 15 innings, we are 2nd in the MLB. So go ahead and cut bait on Mr. Brazier. He's got a World Series ring. I thank him for his service 5 years ago. It's time to move on. This team's good. I trust Shane Bloom. Kinda. The Red Sox are good. And my boy Yoshi that we signed from Japan, everybody thought he was going to get on a AAA deal. He's currently riding a 13-game hit streak, hitting 340. He's got 6 or 7 home runs in the early season. Red Sox are good, boys.
Yeah, they have been a pleasant surprise. They're still, I was looking at the standings. I looked this up here to confirm it. They're 21-15, but the Rays have been so good to start the year. They're 7.5 out of first place, but the AL East is freaking loaded right now. The Orioles are good, Blue Jays are good, and Red Sox are good. Yankees are down here in last place, but they're 18-17. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there are 3 to 4 teams that can make the playoffs from the AL East in the American League. So,
yeah, I definitely think that 4 is in the realm of possibility. Just about every year you have at least 2 make it out of the AL East over the last, we'll call it 10 to 15 years. The AL East is the AL Beast. It always has been, always will be, especially with the resurgence of Baltimore. I hate Baltimore the least out of all the teams in that division, just because they've been bad for so long. But they've got a really fun team.
yeah, they're young. They've got some really good young talent on that team.
They're extremely young. Toronto is not to be messed with. Obviously, Tampa Bay is not either. Really, the Yankees are the only shitty team in that division. I mean, you could go ahead and relegate them to minor league ball if you wanted to. I mean, they stink. I
Yeah,
mean, the Yankees should not even be able to line up on the same field as Boston or Toronto or Baltimore or Tampa Bay if you want to go that realm, but they shouldn't even be able to line up on the same diamond as us. You know, I mean, they're bad, and we've known they're bad. A lot of people bought into the hype last year, but they're bad. They stink. They haven't won a World Series in 14 years. They're bad. They're worse than the Mets.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
not to get on MLB talk because I know we got to do this segment, but the Cubs have been surprising this year. I know they're just 17-17, but there wasn't a lot of expectations with this team, but they've got one of, if not the best offenses in the National League right now. Losing a lot of close games. They lost 2-1 to the Nats, 4-3 to the Nats, and they lost 5-4 today to the Marlins in 14 innings. But they did take the series from Florida after getting swept by Florida in 3 one-run games a week and a half ago in Miami. But I'm coming back from Auburn today on Sunday. The Braves were playing the Orioles in Atlanta. I got caught up in a little bit of game day traffic coming back home.
It started at noon also, which is kind of weird.
Odd time for major league. Usually you count on 1 o'clock, but a noon game. I don't know. Baltimore must have had to. I don't know where they go next. They must have had to travel somewhere. But yeah, Braves are good again. So a lot of ball to be played though. Still a lot of season to go. So we'll see. Cubs have got the Cardinals this week, but Harb has nominated Red Sox doubters as his haters and losers of the week. So we'll go to Big Montana. Who is your haters and losers of the week?
My vote, or my hater and loser of the week.
Your nominee.
My nominee. Thank you. Goes to people who live on social media. If you are a grown-ass man or woman and you tweet more than 10 times a day about 10 different topics, or if you're a person who posts 2 or 3 pictures a day on Instagram or Snapchat, and you own a house, that's a good way to put this, being a grown-ass adult. Stop, put the phone down, go live your life. Every day, I'll scroll Twitter for, football news. Twitter is basically my news outlet for what's going on in the world, sports, pop culture, politics, what my friends are doing. I get it. But we don't need to see your post-workout pic. We don't need to see what you had for dinner. If you're a grown-ass man, you're taking selfies and your kids aren't in the picture, or your significant other, or the Grand Canyon of the Grand Tetons, don't take that picture and post it. If you're sitting in your car or truck taking a selfie of yourself, no one gives a shit. Don't post it. Be a grown-up. You're not a 14-year-old girl trying to get followers. Don't be stupid. So I guess mine is live your life. Quit living on the phone. Quit living on social media. Get out there and live a little. It's funny to see certain golf events or the last 10 seconds of a basketball game. Everybody's got their phone now. Put your phone in your pocket. Enjoy the moment. Quit looking at it through a lens. life's not meant to be lived that way. It just, I don't know, gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
No one,
I've
no one
always,
cares about your opinion that much for you to tweet 19 times a day about something.
I've always said, I mean, it is kind of cool, like, to see the videos from where people filmed, the last seconds of the Tennessee Bama game on their phone and the reactions. But I've always looked at it as like, I'm DVRing the game on TV, or you can go to YouTube and watch it.
Yep.
I feel like I'm not watching it if I've got my phone out videoing it, and I'm not knocking anybody, but I get what you're saying though. And I've always I just can't pull my phone out. I know my uncle videoed from the box, the field goal, and that reaction, it was awesome. I'm glad he did it, but it's just not me. I'm not.
Yeah. Well,
if you ever catch me doing that, call me out at a game.
I will. It's just, I don't know. It's just like everybody thinks that their point of view or their opinion or, hey, look at me. Like, social media is very narcissistic as it is. Like, it gives everybody a platform. I mean, here we are doing a podcast, so it sounds kind of hypocritical, but it gives people a platform that basically some people don't deserve a platform, right? Like, it's funny, like, especially, and I'm not calling anybody out on Vol Twitter, but like, you get on there and like, I see some people that post 37 times a day or comment. I'm like, these people have jobs. Like, do you have families? I mean, I just don't get it. Like, is this literally 18 hours a day people are on there? I'm like, there's so much more to life. Get a dog, go grow a plant.
The thing that gets me about people that are on social media is like, and I watch the NCAA tournament at work. I've got it on in the background if I'm at work, or the Masters, or one of the major golf tournaments, something like that. Maybe opening day, Major League Baseball, or if the Cubs are on one random day, I might turn it on and just have it on in the background. But I swear, if you get on Twitter and any sporting event, it doesn't matter what day it is, what time it is, I feel like, I'm like, how do these people watch all of these sporting events? Because I've got other things going on in my life, or I'm playing golf, or I'm doing something else. And it's like they almost literally do nothing else but, and I don't know how they watch the games because they're constantly tweeting.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how y'all, I don't know if y'all are if somebody's listening and you're like that, I don't know how you do it. I really don't. Like, I mean, I'm one of the biggest, and y'all could probably attest, I'm one of the biggest sports nuts out there.
Right.
And I literally miss sporting events all the time because I'm either at work, or I'm working around the house, or up at our farm, or playing golf, or doing.
Right.
I might be sitting out on my back. I might be sitting out on my back porch, and literally the same. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how y'all do it, but
the one thing that gets me is like I said, if you're taking a selfie with your kids at a ball game or at church, or on a hike, that's totally fine. Capture that moment. I get it. Those things are important. If the Grand Canyon's behind you, yeah, take that selfie. Grand Tetons, take that selfie. Empire State Building, go for it, man. But like, if you're sitting in your flipping truck and it's a Tuesday at 2:00, fit of the day, kicks of the day, have the day, like, you're a 30-year-old man.
KOTD.
Like, I mean, like, dude, like, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you went to the gym today. We don't care about your gains.
We took a family selfie in Auburn last night with Reagan after she graduated.
Again, it was a graduation. That's going to happen maybe 3 times in someone's life. Depends on how far they go in school. Great, take it. But don't take it the damn Taco Bell drive-through.
I agree with that.
I'm going to start posting outfits of the day on Snapchat and tagging bowling in it.
Hey, Harb, on our golf trip this year, constant selfies.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we got Austin Hayes going, so it's not going to be.
Well, yeah, he takes selfies every
day.
Yeah,
that's going to be plenty for the group.
I was walking through downtown Knoxville the other day during business hours. Like, I walked in front of two girls taking a TikTok and didn't know it. They had the phone set up against the damn fire hydrant downtown, and they're over there, doing these deals, whatever. And I'm like walking by, thinking they're having some type of drug overdose.
Last summer when I was over at my uncle's house, Melody and Reagan were doing a TikTok for like 30 minutes out on the patio, and I sat there in the swimming pool. I'm like, what am I watching? What is going on here? I mean, it was over and over until they just got it just perfect. But hey, if that's your thing,
clout chasers, not Melody and Reagan, but just people in general that are just searching for someone to like what they do. Like, that takes a lot of effort, and I'm just like, I got better things to do in my day.
Agreed. All right.
Social media clout chasers are my biggest haters and losers.
I'll write that.
SMCC. That sounds like
I'm gonna write that down. Social media clout chasers.
SMCC sounds like a 15 seed that's going to the Sweet 16.
Exactly. Or like a community college is good at basketball.
All right. Mine is, where did he go? Oh, here it is. Mine is I don't know how old she is. I'll call her a young lady. She's probably younger than me. Aria Gerson, I think is how you pronounce her name. She is, and I'll go back and tell you who she is after I read the tweet. So let's go back. This was 4 or 5 days ago. A Twitter account who has a blue check mark next to him tweeted that several NFL scouts reportedly believe Anthony Richardson paved the way for Joe Milton to potentially be a high draft selection in next year's draft. Richardson is currently listed at 6'4", 244 pounds. Milton is listed at 6'5", 243 pounds. Similar to Richardson, Milton is athletic freak, what scouts call a rocket of an arm, and has only started 9 games thus far. So Aria, who covers Vanderbilt for the Tennessean, she likes to bash on Tennessee. Why anyone who watches Vanderbilt, supports Vanderbilt, or covers Vanderbilt would want to bash Tennessee in anything is beyond me. That alone should be your hater and loser of the week nominee, just because of that. Because they rarely beat, okay, congratulations, you won 2 national titles in baseball. We still lead the all-time series with you. Football, I think Vandy is at the point where they would have to win 47 games in a row. So that's 47 years just to tie the series with Tennessee. That's how pathetic they are. They're pathetic in everything else too. I'll give tip of the cap to them. They have a very good baseball program. That's great. But she tweeted in response to this tweet, some of you all were not contractually obligated to watch every snap of Michigan's 2020 season, and it shows in reference to Milton starting for the Wolverines during the 2020 season when he didn't have the best of years. Let's just face it, but that was 3 years ago. And in Vol Twitter fashion, she got absolutely roasted. Magic Mac Triple XL, great follow on Twitter.
Love you, Mac.
Responded to her by saying, Joe cooked Peabody like a whole Easter Sunday dinner. You go look back, Joe Milton was 11-21 that game. Didn't throw for many yards, but Tennessee won 56-0. He didn't have to. The weather was bad. It was cold. It was rainy. Tennessee ran it right down their throats. Who cares? They won. And also, I can't nominate him because he'll at some point be nominated, but Vol Picks was bashing Milton this week and referenced how, quote, poorly he played against Vandy. Again, any smart person would see he didn't have to do anything that game. Now, I'll be honest, I was a doubter of Joe Milton there. Y'all remember during the Orange Bowl, I texted you all and said, boys, I don't think he's the guy. I mean, first 3 quarters, Tennessee looked kind of pedestrian offensively. Really didn't take much
defense. Clemson's great defense too.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson's very good.
Yeah.
But in comparison to where Tennessee had been all year offensively, it just didn't look the same.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, a light switch went off and the Vols exploded. Milton hit 2 big bombs. And then, threw a couple of touchdown passes and Tennessee ran away with it. I just guess we haven't seen enough, consistent evidence, which that's another story for another time. But my hater and loser of the week is Aria Gerson. You can find her at Aria, ARIA_Gerson, GERSON. And she's
probably got cats.
I'm just gonna be brutally honest. She's not very attractive.
Damn.
Probably a typical sports writer. She's Vanderbilt beat writer for the at Tennessean, a Michigan alum.
Yeah.
This says all you need to know. Was once with USA Today Sports.
Oh damn! I bet she has her pronouns in there too, right?
She doesn't. Oh yeah, she does.
Oh, I called it.
She her. She her. That's all you need to know. She's also Harbin, pro pitch clock, which I'm not a fan of.
Oh, you about made me swear.
And she's anti-replay.
Oh no!
Which
Imagine
is dumb. Replay is
somebody who has opinions that don't want to be challenged on the opinions.
Replay is one of the best things. I know there's a lot of people disagree. Replay is one of the best things that's happened to sports when it's used correctly.
Yes.
NCAA football and basketball use it way too much. They stop the game for, okay, you got a yard run. It's 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 10, and they're reviewing the spot. Who cares? It's 3rd and long.
Gotcha.
They review way too much. But anyways, that's my hater and loser of the week is Aria. She sucks. She's terrible.
Can I throw in an honorable mention?
Sure. Who you got?
This one is dedicated to a Twitter account. Obviously, the person that runs it. It is y'all know the group Sidelines that has a Twitter account for each school. This one is for Sidelines UGA, University of Georgia. So Georgia baseball had tweeted that they won the series against us today, which good on them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this Sidelines UGA quote tweeted it, and I'm going to quote the tweet for you. It says, "The Dogs take the series against the self-proclaimed, quote, everything school, end quote, with a ETSU trophy case, fire emoji. Happy Sunday." They got roasted for it. One response said, trophy case, but our football program has more national championships than your football, baseball, and basketball programs combined.
I was about to say, we've got 8 women's basketball national titles, 6 football national titles. What are they talking about?
So the Sidelines UGA account responded to said tweet. Which they have the leverage. They won. Cool, whatever. I mean, you can still be a dummy and your team win. He responded and said, "Oh man, the ETSU comment hit you deep. The point is they are indeed the breadwinner of the volunteer state," referring to ETSU. So whoever is running this Twitter account,
it's Vols picks. It's got to be Vols picks.
It could be
because he's a big ETSU d-bag.
Sleeper cell.
I think I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, sleeper cell. That would be interesting. And obviously, Montana's going to hate this account too. If you can see it, the banner on the Twitter account is Eagles, but the G is a Georgia G.
Oh, God.
So piss on whoever runs that even more. Yeah, to the intern or slob that sits on your couch for 75 hours a week and don't move spots. That way there's a damn dead spot in your couch and you just tweet all day. You're my honorable mention for hater and loser of the week just because you're stupid.
Sounds like a
well
social
done.
media clout chaser to me.
Sounds like you two teamed up.
That's correct. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, that's our nominees. We'll post those here. We'll we'll let the show cycle through here for a couple days, 3 days, and then I'll post it. Give everybody a chance to listen, and we'll post that on Twitter and go on there and vote. I only had 19 people vote last week. Pretty pathetic. But the week before we had quite a bit of votes. So get out there and vote for your hater and loser of the week, who you think is the true hater and loser. Harb's nominee was the Red Sox doubters. Big Montana is social media clout chasers. Negative Nease is area Gerson, Vanderbilt beat reporter. So that's your 3 nominees. And again, I said, we should have plenty of people to choose from every week because there's a lot of stupid people out there and a lot of haters and losers, of which there are many. So this should be an ongoing segment every week, and there'll be no shortage of nominees. So, hey, Harb, I went to the club Friday night.
What club did you go to, Mr.
Went
Nease?
to Club 200
Oh,
in
wow.
Auburn.
Wow.
It's not what you think.
So when you walk in, did you have to text somebody 2 100 emojis?
No.
How it worked? Oh,
No,
okay.
this was a graduation party for I brought you a sticker, Big Montana, for your cooler. I put one on mine.
Oh, thanks.
It'll look good. Trust me. No, it was a graduation party for Reagan. Reagan graduated this weekend in Auburn, and this was her friends that live in another apartment. There's 6 of them, and the apartment numbers, or the condo, whatever the house they live in, is 200. So they named it Club 200. They got this cool neon sign. I should have taken a picture of it. This cool neon sign above the in the kitchen, Club 200. But it was Cinco de Mayo. They had taco bar, margaritas. It was fun to meet all those people. Yeah, I went to the club Friday night. Club 200. Shout out Club 200. Molly. Let me see if I get them all. Molly, Hannah, Gracie, Libba, Trisha, and Annie. So that's a 6. Reagan's their +1 at 7. So
How did the club treat you?
it was good. It was laid back. It was,
Good.
eating tacos, margaritas, there's about the fire marshal would have kicked us out. There was about 50 people in there. So it was fun though. I won't get to go back down there anymore. I like going to Auburn. It's a fun time. We had fun back in October when LSU played. That was a good time.
I've heard Auburn, Alabama is a very good time. I've had a few other buddies make the trip down. One of my buddies in college, he dated a girl that went down there, so he'd frequent down there. So you're not the only person to tell me that Auburn's a good time. What's that main bar down there? Skyline?
Sky Bar.
Sky Bar.
We were supposed to go to Sky
Skyline's
Bar.
shitty.
So we were supposed to go to Sky Bar last night, and I kind of got a hint that I wasn't really invited because it was the girls' quote last night out together, and I was told I wouldn't have fun if I was there. So I just went back to the house and watched Netflix or something until I went to sleep. I was tired anyways. I stayed out late the night before. We went to well, I guess I can say it. Nobody from Auburn listens to this. We actually crashed a party on a roof. One of Reagan's friends' parents invited us. Somebody had rented out a roof for their graduation party, a rooftop. It wasn't a bar, but it was a rooftop area. And we just went up there like we knew everybody. And one of Auburn's backup quarterbacks was there. I can't remember his name. I didn't talk to him because I didn't know him, but it was packed up there. It was freezing cold though. It was like 58 degrees with the wind blowing Friday night. But we went there and we went to some other place called 1617, and we look outside, and one of Reagan's friends said, "Oh, look, there's Walker Kessler." And by God, there was Walker Kessler just standing out. He never came in, and he was just standing out there, and he was taking pictures, and then he just wandered off. But I wanted him to come in because I was going to talk shit to him and tell him, "Hey, remember that time you came up to Thompson Bowling last year and got it handed to you by Deacon Barnes and the boys?" But he never came in, so missed opportunity.
Jokes aside, Cat had a very good rookie campaign in Utah this year.
He did.
Yeah. That side note, real quick, that may go down as the worst trade in NBA history. Minnesota getting Rudy Gobert and giving up 5 first-round picks for him. And the first one was Walker Kessler, who literally had a better year than Rudy Gobert did, numbers-wise, which is hilarious. So,
what
congrats Kessler for being on the good end of the worst trade in all time.
real quickly, NBA, your Celtics lost a tough one here on Sunday.
They did. It's okay though. It's 2-2.
Going back to Boston, baby.
Going back to Boston. You dropped game 1 at home. 2-2 is very much in the cards. You can't really expect to win 3 in a row against a very good team. With that being said, offense looked like trash in the first half today. Mr. Tatum decided to get his first 2 points on the final possession of the first half. Team got their stuff together. We came back from 16 or 17 down, forced overtime. Ball didn't roll away a couple times. Left James Harden wide open in the corner. Hell, he only had 40 today. I mean, hell, leave him wide open. Why not?
I saw the last minute of overtime, and they left him wide open. Never leave a shooter wide open in the corner, by the way.
I read something through Boston Twitter. That's where my algorithm kind of takes me. Al Horford during his press conference was kind of like, I don't know why Jaylen Brown was the one that was guarding Harden. He was like, I don't know why he collapsed. He shouldn't have. Top deal. Because everybody was like, oh, they were doubling Embiid. It was smart play. And Al Horford was like, no. Because if you watched any of the fourth quarter, Al Horford dominated Joel Embiid. And I'm not even saying that biasly. Like, Al Horford whooped Joel Embiid's ass when the Sixers were on offense.
Yeah, he had like 4 blocks.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 blocks. He'd go around. He'd go to the other end, get a bucket. Al Horford played his ass off in the fourth quarter. It's the only reason we went to overtime.
Yep.
But I'm okay with it. We had 2 good looks at the end of fourth quarter and overtime. Really wish Tatum would have laid it up on one of those 2 at the end of the fourth or overtime, especially one at the end of overtime, because you kick it out to a guy and you don't even have time to even fling it up. But, it's all right. Game 5, 2-2 is probably the best competition we're going to get the rest of the season. And I mean that sincerely.
Miami scares me.
Yeah, no, I don't want to play Miami or New York either, because they're going to get you down in the mud, so to speak, like Kama used to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to play either one of them. But we got to win 2 out of 3 versus Philly first before we even entertain the idea of talking about that. So, but I like our odds. We're the better team. I think if your defensive strategy is shut down Embiid or shut down Harden and let the other one get as much as they want, you're going to win. Because it took 78 combined points out of them today to win by 1.
Right.
And Tatum did not play well. Tatum didn't have his normal production. I think we're fine. I really do. And also the playoffs are proving that Brad Stevens getting Malcolm Brogdon in the offseason was the best offseason move of the NBA. Malcolm Brogdon was the only reason we didn't get beat by 30 today.
I agree. I love the video on social media where the reporter asked him about the royal family, and he said Mary and Joseph and Jesus, and they're like, no, the royal family. He goes, I only recognize one royal family, and that's the family of my Lord and Savior. I was like,
they may be my haters and losers of the week next week. The royal family. I can't stand that crap.
I haven't gave a shit since 1776.
No, I will say I did watch, and I haven't caught up with it, but I did watch The Crown on Netflix because I like history. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's totally accurate, but I just wanted to watch for the historical aspect of it. But I can't stand those people.
They're inbreeders.
We're Americans. Who cares about the British?
They're inbreeders.
They are our allies, but we also defected and sent them back across the sea 200 plus years ago. So get over it.
Real quick while we still got time. I watched WWE Backlash last night. Now, I'm not going to give spoilers because one person on this podcast hadn't watched it yet. That crowd was absolutely electric. I mean, apparently it had been 18 years since the last time they did a pay-per-view in Puerto Rico. That place went absolutely bonkers. And it's always the foreign crowds. Like, technically Puerto Rico is an American territory, but like you go to Europe or you go to the Caribbean type deal, those places go nuts because they don't get it there all the time. And I would like to see more pay-per-views take place in spots like that. It was a very good pay-per-view on top of that, and I'm glad I watched it.
I will watch that tonight probably after I get the podcast edited and loaded and put out for the people to listen. I will watch it. Saw Bianca won. She's the longest reigning champ of the modern era. So shout out to her. I'm sure her dad will tell me all about it at work this week. So love Leonard. Great guy. All right. That's this week's show. Remember to go on our Twitter, vote for the haters and losers of the week, who you think is good or bad, however you want to look at it. As always, appreciate everybody listening. You can find us Facebook, Twitter. You can listen to us anywhere you get podcasts. We're also on YouTube. Look us up there and watch us if you want to see our face. For Harbin, for Big Montana, this has been the Section YY8 podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.